Welcome back, guys. We're making some pretty good progress. Last video we got the engine in and the wiring harness hooked up and the gas tank on. So this time we're just going to keep working on it, and I think what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll put the exhaust on, the radiator on, and the battery in, and we should be able to test fire it. We'll check the fluid level too. I got to check with the owner's manual right here and make sure we put enough oil in it, even though the dipstick says yeah. I don't want to run it lean after the problems we've been having with it. So let's get to work and get this thing running. All right, so we got the harness plugged in and the throttle bodies sat back on, and then your fuel rail with these 4 8mm bolts. Make sure you seat your the outside two is what I did, that one and this one, and then they turn back and forth with the little rubber seal. The green thing, I'm not sure if you can see it, but it'll turn back and forth in there, and it also has a clip. So that clip has a pin on it, the correct angle, so squeegee it back and forth and then tighten that down so that your seal is good on that fuel rail. On each one, I did the outside two and then the inside two, and then turned them back and forth and then tightened them down after that. So got them snug, turned them back and forth, tightened them down. And then those clips have they have little clips on specific angles. So that little black tab will grab your injector and turn it the right direction. And then they're numbered. So there's a tag. I don't know if we can find it, but there's a tag right there around number 2. So that was very helpful whenever I was trying to decide which one in the middle was what. Because if you look at that cylinder, that's number 2. And then just under this air box, I already took it away, but I numbered the spark plug caps whenever I took them off. You guys remember that? So number 2, number 2, number 2. So that's where the number 2 plug went, right there. And then this clip was the next within range, and this obviously was the shortest one, and that was the longest one. So they all kind of made sense after that, as long as one was numbered, and it was. I strongly suggest you number those plugs with a Sharpie whenever you pull them out too, otherwise you could get a little mixed up. So next thing you do, put your air box on. There is a hose here. If you can see it, that hose right there, that clip, getting that clip on, good luck. There's not really any real technique to do that. It's just you got to dick with it. Then there's another hose that comes out of this one, which is right behind here, but you can reach up right here and kind of guide it on as you push the box down. And then finally, you have that blue clip, which was kind of my Lone Ranger blue clip, and then this little hose right here, that hose goes straight up into the box. So a couple breathers, but all in all, we got it in there. And all the parts that I had questions about, we found homes for, except for one, and this is obviously a breather hose, but I got to find out where this hose goes. So probably a crankcase breather hose. It looks like it goes down the back and out the back, but we'll figure it out. Anyways, go ahead and slap the top of that box on. Put the intake in and put the box on. pretty much the whole harness. Got a couple more plugs and the fuel line on the tank to put in, and then we'll put the tank down and get the seat on. Okay, once you have your plugs in, I usually leave these 2 bolts in to hover this a little bit, because you got to put your this is basically a fire resistant or retardant blanket, a little fire blanket that it insulates the bike electronics from the gas tank itself. In case there's a spark in here, it'll insulate that spark from your gas, so less chance of blowing up and catching on fire. You're already on a 1000 cc crotch rocket. You don't need any more liability than you already have, so don't forget to put that on there. Now I'm just tucking this one down in there. There's a couple clips in the bottom. I don't ever clip those. I just make sure that the top is tucked. Then, once you have it seated and clipped around the side, you can pull your mounts out. And put your gas tank back in its final home. Now we can tighten up these 4 bolts for the tank. Truth. So I don't have the muffler on, so it's going to be kind of loud, but we're going to try to prime the fuel line a couple times. We have all of our circuitry back, which is good. Turn this switch on to prime the fuel line. That's a plus. Turn that off. Prime it again. Okay, test it. Okay, let's put the muffler back on. You know, actually, before I do, I want to try to hit that with my buffer and see if I can't buff some of those scratches out. Obviously this won't come out because it's all the way through the metal, but see if I can't polish some of these scratches out. There we have it. Seems to be running just fine. Not shaking around, in balance. Got a little drippage on the bottom. I'm not sure what that is, but we'll check it out. All right, guys. That pipe actually cleaned up pretty good. You can still see a pretty decent scuff in it, but it's not half as visible as it was before. If you're standing up here, kind of polished out all the impurities, so it just looks like a scuff, really. But not too bad, cleaned up well. We'll probably replace it if we decide to keep the bike, but for now, that thing's pretty dope. It looks good. We got a new timing cover coming, a billet anodized black one, so that'll look pretty good. Then we took some paint and went around the edge with some automotive touch-up paint, so that'll blend with the black on black with that new cap, and then the black from the oil filter. It should look all right. Went ahead and filled up the antifreeze. I used a blend actually of what I had in here. Green came out of it, which tells me that they probably flushed it with, you know, something like that over there. Some Peak antifreeze, which, you know, that's not terrible. I guess it'll do on an engine like this, but I ended up using a Subaru blend, which is, well, it's made for Asian vehicles and including Subaru, and it's a blue blend. It has more conditioners in it, keeps the engine cooler, and then topped it off with the remaining engine ice that I had from the CR250 build. So that's all blue coolant in there. We have new Iridium plugs in it, and battery's good. It does run now. We topped off the oil. The manufacturer in the book said 3.9 gallons after disassembly, so, and it did. It took about every bit of those 4 quarts, or not gallons, 3.9 liters or quarts. 3.9 quarts is what it said. After disassembly, 3.9 US quarts. So 4 quarts. Took all of them. All the lights seem to be working. The only thing that I need to find out is I have one leftover plug, so I might have to pull off that and the airbox again and take a second look and see where I missed that, because I have no idea where that one goes, and it's not visible. No plugs are visible from right there. I checked in the air duct in there. There's no plugs. The only plugs in there is this one that mounts inside there, and then this air tube goes to the valve inside that duct right there. So, but that's gonna be it for tonight. We're gonna end it early, and next time we get a chance to work on this, we'll put the seat on it and pull it out, and maybe put a trash bag over the, actually we'll take this tank cover over here, put the plastic tank cover on it, and then pressure wash all the old oil and all the old shit off of the bottom of the bike, and clean some of the bugs off of there and out of the radiator, off the turn signals, and then we'll bring it back in and take that back section off the tail and this front section off, and that number and that the front fender, because on Friday we get our new black and orange Repsoil kit in the mail, so that'll look sweet. Usually they're black and white with orange rims, but since we have black wheels, I found a black and orange one that it'll look pretty good with that seat cover and those black wheels. We'll start this back up whenever I get off work and I have time to pressure wash. All right, it's a couple days later, Friday afternoon. Gonna tear into this CBR again and see if I can locate where this plug goes, because we got a package today. I don't know if you can see it. Oh yeah, the Repsol kit is here. So I'm gonna try to locate that clip so that that's done. And then it's kind of cold, so I won't be rolling it out and pressure washing it today. But if I can locate where that clip is, then I can ride it down to the car wash and then go from the car wash and spray it down, degrease it a little bit before we put these plastics on it. We got all the plastics with the fairing kit, all of the trim plastics, all the dash plastics, the front air dam plastics. I got my timing cover and oil plug in today, the billet aluminum one, which is all black. It's gonna look pretty good. We got some new black levers. We got some cheapo schmeepo eBay grips that should work with anodized black bar ends. We got some carbon fiber sliders that we'll install after the fairings are in there, or at least we'll fit them up, and we might have to actually install those and bend the fairings, but we'll make sure we do whichever one first according to where the bolts line up. And then from a previous project, I still had these anodized bolt kits, I think with this black one, these leftovers from my old CBR1000, and then this new red kit with some black bolts. We should be able to dress this thing up pretty good. So we'll go ahead and get to work on that. Fast forward about 45 minutes on the bike. I found the place for that plug. There's a plug underneath, right here under the steering stabilizer, that it plugs right into right there. So I did have to take the bolts out, unplug the wiring harness, disconnect the fuel rail on the top set of 4 injectors, and take the top of the airbox and set it over there. Unscrew these. I didn't have to take it completely out, so I didn't have to mess with the hoses, but it did give me an opportunity to super glue that one little dinky hose for the air duct vents, which we don't want that popping off, and it did. So I super glued that hose back on and found the home for that plug. So now we're good. Electronics are secure. We can go ahead and seal this puppy up and then drive it over to the car wash. Okay, so we got one side done along with the front fairing, and I know that yellow lever sticks out like a sore thumb, but we're gonna replace that. These things go together are kind of a pain in the butt. There's like 4 or 5 or 6 different pieces inside this section here, there's like a little air vent vacuum underneath that. You can see it on this one right there. So you got to take apart very carefully and then mount it back into the inside of the new side shroud without cracking the mounts. So you turn very, very slowly so that it doesn't crack them. But I've got black anodized on these black parts, and then red anodized on the shrouds, which actually looks pretty good. So there'll be a whole black piece that fits across the bottom there, with some more decals just like that. And then the back, I believe, is black. So for the most part, it just looks kind of like that. So we'll go ahead and do the other side. All right, guys, it is Sunday. Man, weekends go by way too quick. Stayed up late last night and the night before. Freaking motorcycle plastics for street bikes are some tedious work. Not to mention just tired. So let's just take a look at what we got going on so far. So I was able to get the front shroud on and the side shrouds and the bottom shroud, which was a struggle getting all the pins to line up. And sadly, it was about 40 degrees last night and I broke some of the tabs, so you can see I'm a little bummed about it. Super glue's not going to help the situation either, but you can see right there they didn't quite fit just right, and it was kind of a struggle getting those tabs to line up, and damned if I didn't break one that holds it nice and snug up to that top section right there. Really kind of ugly, but anyways, we got it all snugged on there. We got the timing cover on there and the oil plug. Got your gas tank. Another really annoying piece was this back piece right here, but we got that rear section on there. And we were able to get it nice and clean before we put those plastics on. So, you know, from a distance, it doesn't look too bad. Another not quite fitting piece was that this intake boot doesn't quite snug up because the plastic isn't perfect. It's pulling it out. This side's good, but that side has a gap. So I might have to pull it off eventually. I'm gonna get it running or take it for a couple spins, and then, you know, it's pretty much just garbage weather today, so there's no riding it today, but I'm not about to mess with that fairing again and pop it off. Plus I already snapped that piece down there, so I might just have to call it good. But I mean, there's literally no give at all, so I don't know what the hell's going on there. Have to pop it off and mess with it. Anyways, we got our USB charger. I think I'm gonna cover this with a sticker and then put some two-sided tape on it and hook it right in there somewhere. Or maybe, yeah, probably right in there. But yeah, not really excited about how the seat cover looks on there either. I'd like it to be all black. But for some reason, seat covers for this thing are like $200. So that'll be probably for the next owner. Anyways, overall, it looks better than it did, but I'm not 100% pumped on the look. I don't know if it's the seat cover or what. I don't know. For some reason, I think it's the seat cover. I don't know. You guys tell me. We got one more piece to put on, which is this front tire fender, front fender. It's got another decal, that Blue Jeans gas decal on the front of it, so it should kind of tie it together. But other than that, I got some two-sided tape, and we will put on the emblems on either side too. So let's go ahead and do that. Well, there you have it. That's the black Repsol kit. It looks a heck of a lot better than it did before. Actually looks pretty racy. I like all the decals. Those are pretty sweet, especially down there. Those things look dope. But yeah, that's it. Wiped it all down, cleaned all the bugs off of it. No more bad transmission gear. Replaced third gear, replaced the plastics, replaced the timing cover, cleaned it up, debugged, and put all new filler plastics on it too. We also will have a new set of grips on it here soon, and then hopefully we'll be able to get a refund for the levers because the clutch side lever did not fit. So I asked for a refund, told them I'd return it if I had to, but it was from China, so who knows. Yeah, she's ready to rip, so next nice day, we'll take it out for a ride. Alright guys, that's going to be it for today's video. We got a couple nice bikes in here now. Everything just keeps building and building. Eventually I'm going to have to sell one of these, so I think we're going to fix this one next and just get rid of it. I got a lot of interest. I posted it and got a lot of tire kicker. A lot of people like, oh, what's wrong with it? Because they don't ever read the ads whenever you post it. Anyways, I could go on and on about that, but we'll probably fix that next just so I can sell it and get the heck out of here. Get it the heck out of here. But anyways, that's going to be it for today. If you like what you see, subscribe, like, tell your friends. I need more subscriptions so I can keep pumping out some content. And so maybe I can afford to get some sponsors or afford to be able to do more bikes and keep some of them. I don't know. Anyways, thanks for watching. Have a good night.